if there's big orders on, I can cook for like 4, 5, 6 hours straight in a day. Ryan Reynolds is someone we've been asking for recently, actually. Fabulous Welsh Cakes are definitely the second best available Welsh Cakes in Wales.
This week on the Engaging Marketeer, I'm speaking to a fellow Newportian, Joe Granville from Rogue Welsh Cakes. Joe set up Rogue Welsh Cakes in partnership with his mother back in 2020 when they both worked in healthcare and decided that for some reason 2020 wasn't the best year to be in healthcare, that they wanted to set up a Welsh cake baking business. What possessed them to do that? How have they managed to make the business a success in the last few years? What kind of clients have they got? And just how good are their Welsh cakes?
Fine with me. Sorry, I'm just having my liquid lunch, yeah.
A liquid? I would have thought you'd be having Welsh cakes.
Well, I'm not in the show. Usually Wednesdays are my kind of meeting days. So I do like meetings and admin and any kind of business development, anything like that happens on a Wednesday. So hence I am kind of on the move today and in the van. Right.
Because it's got to be difficult being a baker as you are and making Welsh cakes and working also and just not eating them constantly. I would struggle with that personally.
Yeah, I do struggle with it. I really like savoury foods though as well. So like I like a bit of sweet after something really main, really savoury, really like heavy and savoury, and then I just want a bit of cake. And Welsh cakes are perfect for having just a bit of cake, 2 or 3 warm. Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, they are gorgeous warm, aren't they? They're the best.
Oh, they're the best. Yeah.
So is that the reason then you've not actually become a savoury cook, because then you really would be eating everything?
I would just be eating all day. Yeah, it would be hectic. Yeah, and I love cooking. I love cooking savoury food. I love like meal prep and stuff like that. And I cook for the kids a lot. Trying to like make every meal they have like nice home cooked food. Yeah, but I don't know if I'd want to do it for a living necessarily.
Yeah. So how much time does you actually spend baking?
It depends week to week. It depends what's on. It depends if we've got lots of orders on in a week. I'll spend like a good. Yeah, I mean, some of the busier weeks I probably spend. Monday is like all day making. Wednesday usually we cook postal orders. Yeah, it depends. If there's big orders on, I can cook for like 4, 5, 6 hours straight in a day.
Wow.
Just flipping Welsh cakes, cooling them off, packing them up, cooking them, packing them. Yeah,
And you've got a spot in Newport Market, haven't you?
We do. Yeah. We have it's like our market stall, shop front, and our kitchen at the same time. So it's all
it's all cooked in the market. How often is it open? Is that 6 days a week?
6 days, 5 days, Wednesday through to Sunday, and then we're there Monday, Tuesday, like kind of making and prepping anyway.
Right. So presumably because it's all cooked fresh and it's not like the stuff you'd buy in a shop which lasts for like 5 weeks, you've got a very short shelf life with what you're cooking. So how far in advance can you make it and still sell it?
Well, yeah, we've got a good thing going with the Welsh cakes in terms of, obviously the fresher they are, the better. But it's a really good product raw. You can keep them in the fridge for a good few days raw. You can keep them in the freezer for a good few months frozen raw. So like what we can do is we can just make a lot and a lot and a lot more than we need for like day-to-day basis. And then if a big order comes in of 100, 200, 1,000, whatever it is, we can just go, okay, sweet, let's take out some freezer stock, go from there. Cook them fresh. And then, they're still, look, we don't use any preservatives or additives or anything like that, but they're still good for like 3, 4, 5 days. Like,
right.
Even if you just kept them in a biscuit tin, they're not going to go bad. They just won't be at their best. So, and if you pack them in like really good sealed packaging, they stay fresh. They're pretty good. They're sturdy little cakes.
And you mentioned then somebody's ordering. Who's ordering thousands of Welsh cakes?
Quite a few people are ordering the high hundreds.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Well, we do lots of like kind of corporate events and corporate gifts and stuff. So it's a good world to be in because say, for example, we work with a lot of events companies. So an event company will charge a ticket price. Say it's £30 a ticket for these people. Those people are the people who are buying the tickets aren't really buying the tickets. The corporations are buying the tickets for them to go to this training or this event or this networking. So the corporations are paying for the ticket. The little gifts included with it are like free. Like when you stay in a hotel, there's free tea and coffee and usually a Welsh cake in your room if you stay somewhere in Wales. It's not free. You've paid for it, haven't you?
Yeah,
it's included in your ticket price. You know, they don't say it's free towels. You know, you've paid for the towels. You know,
it's complimentary. You've paid for it.
Yeah. It's complimentary. But you've paid for the compliment. So it's like, so we provide Welsh cakes for that. So if you go to a corporate event or networking or anything like that, and you get a little goodie bag, they've paid us to put the stuff in. But your business, the corporation that you're there representing, has paid for the ticket, and so it's kind of. It's quite a high spend, big numbers world, and it works really great for us. We do business with the Welsh Government quite a lot.
Wow.
So if they're doing showcasing of Wales or anything like that, anything that's like over in London that the Welsh Government are doing, they always want to bring a little bit of the best of Wales with them. And I mean we've. I think the biggest order that I had to do in a short amount of time was for the Welsh Government. We had to do 1,500 mini savoury Welsh cakes, and they needed to be ready for pickup at Newport Market at 10 a.m. So I was there from like 3:30 in the morning, just cooking, just non-stop, cooking for hours, and then had to get them ready for 10 a.m. It was a mad morning, and then we followed up to London with loads of produce, loads of Welsh cakes to cook fresh at the market as well. It was insane.
How do you work out the logistics? Not just the costing of that, but the actual timing of how you're going to do it, how you're going to pack it, how you're going to deliver it? Because I watch programs like The Apprentice. And on The Apprentice, every season they'll have a task where they have to go into a restaurant or an event, a corporate event, and pitch that we're going to make you 300 mini cakes or 300 mini pizzas or whatever it is. And they'll basically overpromise something they've got no idea how they're going to deliver. And then you'll see them in the kitchen trying to put these things together, having no concept of what they're doing or how long it's going to take. And they promise 300 and they'll deliver like 30 and they'll be crap. How do you know that you're going to be able to do over 1,000 Welsh cakes and how long it's going to take you, and that you're going to be able to maintain that quality throughout?
Oh God, that's a really good question. I
do have them every now and then.
Well, I think I've got this thing where like I have like an internal alarm clock where I know the Welsh cakes need flipping. Like I don't need a timer when I cook anymore.
Oh, so you don't even time. It's more art than science now.
Yeah. It really is. Wow. And like you've got a bit of grace period with a Welsh cake, but you certainly don't want to undercook them, and you certainly don't want to burn them. So there's a bit of a grace period. So you've got 30 seconds either side. Kind of if you go 30 seconds over or 30 seconds under, they'll still be good. But I think it's more. I roughly just know, because we started small. I used to make every single batch by hand. Like I know they're about 7 minutes for cooking, so I can kind of work backwards from that. I go, right, if I need to deliver 1,500 by this amount and I can fit this many on the cooker, I know roughly, give or take, I'll have to run off and drink some water and whatever, and I should be able to do 1,500 in 5 hours or whatever the maths is. And then a lot of just hoping as well.
Oh, there's a bit of hope in there as well, is there?
Oh, there's a lot of hope going on. Yeah. I'd love to say that anything we've ever done or achieved or that I can kind of put my name to, I'd love to say that it was due to well-planned strategic marketing and business kind of prowess, but like it's really not. There's been a lot of luck.
It, really.
a lot of luck, a lot of fortune, a lot of
Wow.
much earlier starts than are probably necessary, much later finishes that are probably necessary. Yeah, there's been plenty of misjudgments, but my main thing is I never want to let anyone down. So I'll just push through. I'll just do those extra hours. I'll do that extra. I'll skip the meals. I'll be dehydrated. Whatever it is, I'll just get it done if I need to.
So what sort of early starts are we talking about here? Because you hear stories about bakers how they're up at like 2 a.m. starting to cook food. Is that kind of ridiculous timings for you?
Not so much. I don't envy proper bakers, because I wouldn't consider myself a proper baker. I don't envy them at all. We're lucky in terms of like, and the earliest I'm willing to start is 3:30, 4 a.m. and that's if I've just got like, well, there's a wedding order that we've got on Friday, so I think they want 200 for their wedding order, and she's picking up at 10 a.m. So I'll be in fairly early. I'll be in at 6 a.m. for that. That's not too bad. They've got to be really precise though. I'm really particular when we do wedding orders, and it's the reason why weddings are a little bit more expensive in terms of like every single one has to be. I won't have one that got a bit smudged or one that's not quite shape, or no, they've got to be precise.
They've all got to be
and
perfect.
You've got to give some extras as well, because it's breakages along the way or whatever.
Yeah, and
So
presumably,
we don't do the proper bakery hours. Thank God.
If you're doing for a wedding, they're probably going to appear in some wedding photographer's work at some point as well. And if you're going to get credited with that, you need it to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if we're getting credited, for sure. And I just don't ever want to let anyone down. I don't want them to be like, this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So, and a lot of that is the conversation beforehand as well, like making sure you're very clear what is going to be delivered, and make sure they've tested all the flavors and they know what quality to expect. Because some people just have these crazy ideas in their head that this thing is going to be, and it's like, I mean, for 300 quid, it's not going to be like my big fat gypsy wedding or whatever. It's going to be something else.
Do you get a lot of people coming in wanting Welsh cakes for weddings then?
Yeah, we get a few. It's not part of the business that we push necessarily, because they are quite hard work. You've got to go back and forth a lot, and there's a lot of pressure on that day.
Yeah.
Like if I mess up someone's wedding cake, I'd be devastated with myself. So we don't push it. We do put the price a bit higher because there is a lot more pressure on there, and people complain about the price of weddings being so much higher, but it's also because there is a lot more pressure on the venues and the producers and the makers and all that, because it's a lot to deal with, ruining someone's wedding day. So it's going to take a little bit of extra time. I'm going to make sure everything's absolutely perfect, and I am going to put that pressure on myself as well. So that's why the price goes up a bit for that. Compared to like a corporate order, someone will go, can I have 250 packs of these 3 flavors? Perfect. And then they want what stickers they want on there, and you pack them up and you send them off, and they go into all the individual goodie bags, and it's not such high pressure,
So what's the kind of split then from your revenue, if you're able to share that, in terms of weddings, sales from the market to consumers, or for corporate events?
That's a good question. I should probably know those figures, but like I said previously, nothing's come down to amazing business prowess or anything. Weddings are going to be down below, like probably less than 10%, I would say. And then the remaining 90, math's not my strong point, but the remaining 90%, let's say, is going to be probably 50% of that 90. So what's that? I'm going to embarrass myself with maths now.
50 of 90 be 45.
But I'd say, actually no, it's probably I'd probably say 60 and then 30, I guess, to make it up to the 90. Yeah, I'd probably take 60% corporate orders and thank you gifts. And yeah, so it's not just big corporate orders as well. It's like thank you gifts. Like we work closely with like a holiday company that when you come home from the holidays, they book you, you come back, and then maybe a couple of days or a week later, a box of Welsh cakes will land on your door with a little thank you note from them in there saying, thanks for booking a holiday with us, blah, blah, blah. So we do that for like private health insurance companies, for travel companies. We do that for a lot of like IFAs, independent financial advisors. We do it for them. Quite a few do.
So when they take on a new client, they'll send them Welsh cakes as a thank you for signing up with them. Yeah. How about estate agents and letting agents then for when people buy a new house or tenants move into a new house?
Well, they are 100% going on my next hit list no, they would be great, and they are great. And we've just had an estate agent type person join a networking group that I go to, and I'll be hounding him to take us on.
That's BNI, isn't it?
BNI, yeah, I do. Yeah, BNI, Business Network and International. Shameless plug. I absolutely love it. It's been amazing for business, and it's amazing for not just for my business in terms of revenue, but in terms of it makes you a better business owner and you're better connected. And, you know, like I can say I have payroll and I have a marketing and I have a VA, and these are all just people that are in my BNI chapter, and they look after me. I can say I've got a HR company that, you know, I've got a HR department. I don't pay a HR department. I pay a HR company to represent us as and when needed, you know?
Yeah. It's great having that experience and advice and expertise on hand when you need it. And, you know, you can just ask them a question, which normally if you were to try and get involved, get in touch with a corporate solicitor or a HR solicitor, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be expensive, or a financial advisor, and you can just throw them a question in the morning and they'll answer it for you. It's great to have, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. We literally just, I see all of the above that you just mentioned every single Wednesday morning. So today I was with, all of the above and more people who are just there, and they will just give you their time and help you. And it's amazing because you are part of that group and you turn up every week. And I just love it. I can't sing his praises enough.
It's interesting with networking groups like that. Typically, you'll get your financial advisor, your accountant, your solicitor, and your estate agent. You don't often get a baker. In ours, for example, we've got a piano tuner and a chainsaw artist.
No, you haven't.
We have, yeah. We've got a chainsaw artist. He's very, very well-known chainsaw artist. He carved the hand that goes up into the heavens out of a tree in Molfama. And he carved a Deadpool that Ryan Reynolds and Channing Tatum were touting around on Instagram a couple of years ago. So, yeah, you get some random people, but what possessed you as a baker to join BNI? How does it work for you? Well, what do you ask for? Apart from hungry people.
I mean, I think we might need to go on a side quest after this interview, so I need to speak to the chainsaw artist.
You want to speak up to that? Yeah, his name's Simon O'Rourke. I can introduce you to the chainsaw artist. Yeah.
I would love that, because actually Ryan Reynolds is someone we've been asking for recently, actually. We want to do a masterclass over in... what's the football team?
Wrexham.
Wrexham. God, my mind went blank. Wrexham. Yeah, we want to do a masterclass for Ryan and the Wrexham football team. So that's who we've been asking for recently in BNI, actually. So it's interesting you asked that question and mentioned the chainsaw artist and Ryan Reynolds all at the same time. But yeah, so. Well, my introduction to BNI was I was at like an event selling the Welsh cakes, doing whatever, and there was a guy there selling beers, but he did printed stuff onto his beers
from Cardiff.
Yeah, yes. Bang On Brewery.
Yeah, Neil, isn't it?
Yeah, Neil Randall. So Neil Randall was there.
That's it. Neil Randall. Yeah.
And then Neil introduced me to a guy who owned a cafe. Neil was in BNI, but he introduced me to a guy who ran a cafe, who started buying quite big bulk orders from us, and we did lots of pop-ups inside his cafe and stuff. And he invited me to BNI, and then Neil went, he invited you to BNI. You could have been my visitor, but
Yeah.
so because I was very interested in what Neil did, because he basically, instead of, his story in a nutshell is he couldn't get the price he wanted for his beer at the pubs and the stuff like that. Started getting some weird requests for pictures being printed onto bottles of prosecco and bottles of beer and stuff like that. Was paying someone to do all the printing for him, and was like, hang on a minute, I'm losing loads of money paying someone to do my printing. I'm going to print. And now he's become a printing company / microbrewery that mainly prints onto labels onto his bottles.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, me and you kind of have the same clients, but at times they're going to want beer and at times they're going to want Welsh cakes. And, so we kind of just started teaming up, and I learned a lot from Neil, and we shared a lot of our clients. And, I would say, because my clients don't necessarily want Welsh cakes. If I want to say thank you to them, they don't necessarily always want Welsh cakes, as they always have loads of them. So I send them beers and he sends his clients Welsh cakes. And then so we did a lot of client swapping, which was great. And then just decided to use it to build the business, like in terms of the corporate side of things, but mainly what I found and fell in love with was like how it built me as a person and as a business owner, and just as a general all-round human being. All the principles of BNI and all the core values that we call it, they just apply so well to life. They transfer over so well. They transfer particularly well to business and being a business owner. And that's what I fell in love with. And to be honest with you, it took a year for me to really fall in love with that. And I'd made enough money from it that I decided to stay. But then since that, and I'm in my third year now, since then the money's just become, I don't even notice it. I look at the figure and go, oh, that's nice, I've made that much from BNI, but I'm not actually really there for that. I'm there for so much more. And like the money is an afterthought and a bonus, really.
That's really interesting and really common that I hear that, because people join because they want business. They join to get clients. They join for the money. They join for the referrals. But often they'll stay for other reasons. They'll stay because they enjoy it. They'll stay for the advice. They'll stay for the support from other people, because you don't get that anywhere else, particularly if you're a business owner on your own and you don't have people you can turn to within your business. It can be quite lonely. Whereas BNI gives you that support that you wouldn't otherwise be able to have. So it's quite a common story what you've said there, but it is great to hear it as well.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, and I think whenever people, because whenever you renew, don't you? You renew for another year, and they tend to make you stand up and say why you renewed, and it's always the same. It's like, yeah, look, the money's great, but like I'm here for all these other reasons, and and they're always the same. It's like, it keeps you honest, and I like to be kept honest because I like to be honest. So it's good.
One thing you should be asking for, if you're not already, I mentioned estate agents and letting agents, obviously, because they have tenants move into properties and people buy houses, and quite often they'll give gifts. Usually it's like a box of flowers or some champagne or chocolates or something, and Welsh cakes would be better because it's predominantly Welsh. What would be a better revenue stream for you would be Airbnb operators and serviced accommodation operators, because they will have guests come in pretty much every week, so they'll be a much higher user of your product. And if someone is coming from, say, England or from abroad to come into a house that is in Wales, what better thing to give them as a gift when they come into the property than Welsh cakes? Something that they're going to be able to experience, particularly if it's a property around sort of Newport, Cardiff area, so it is more typical of the region rather than just the whole of Wales as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. We did have a Airbnb service type person in the chapter before, but she left for various reasons. But that is a great area to go into, because the turnover is going to be much higher, and it's quite similar for hotels, I guess, as well, in terms of they've got 100 rooms, and that room's being changed over usually every 2 days. So like that is great, and we are in talks. Well, we nearly got a meeting set up with a well-known 5-star hotel in Cardiff, hopefully very soon. So that would be great if we bag
not
that.
St David's, is it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just guessed.
I don't think there's another 5-star in Cardiff, is there?
I was trying to think of one and I couldn't. No, until you said Cardiff, I was thinking Celtic Manor, but no, it's Cardiff, right?
Yeah, and we'd love to be in the Celtic Manor. They do theirs in house at the Celtic Manor, and then for events at the ICC, they kind of flitter between myself and another Welsh cake company. So we do stuff for the ICC / the Celtic Manor. But it'd be great to be the regular at St David's, yeah.
Yeah, St David's would be the big one for you, wouldn't it?
That'd be lovely, yeah.
As you've mentioned that there, I was going to ask it, and it's Welsh cakes aren't exactly rare in Wales. There's a lot of people making them. You said there's another supplier that also supplies the Celtic Manor. What made you want to go into Welsh cakes when there's so many people doing it? And some of them are really good as well. There's a great one in Cardiff in one of the arcades. I don't know the name of it, but they do different flavours and types of Welsh cakes as well. And they're all fresh on the day. You probably know exactly who I'm thinking of, but you don't need to mention it because you don't need to advertise them. But there's lots of people doing it. So what made you want to go into that and think, oh, there's a crowded market, I want to try and get in there?
Yeah, so fabulous Welsh cakes you're talking about, and like fabulous Welsh cakes are definitely the second best available Welsh cakes in Wales.
Second best,
and second best, definitely second best. But although it seems like a saturated market in terms of like there's so many people doing them, I consider our product to be quite high above even the second best in terms of like we use organic flour, we use proper butter, we have a vast range of different flavors that go against a few flavors have become kind of traditional, non-traditional flavors, whereas like we really have fun with that, and we always do flavor combinations, so it's never just white chocolate or milk chocolate, or it's white chocolate and cranberry, and it's we do batter brith, so we soak the currants in sweet tea and have lots of like cinnamon and nutmeg and sweet mixed spice in there, and like chocolate and salted caramel, but we use dark chocolate for that to counterbalance the sweetness. So we really have fun, and like really we're very particular about the flavors that we choose, and they're not just standard. And the organic flour is what kind of separates us as well. They're super soft, they're really light, and they're bigger than some of the others. They're smaller than some of the others, but what we've gone for is that like that perfect balance between quality and quantity. They're a decent size, they're nice, but they're the nicest tasting, and texturally they're very pleasing to the mouth compared to any of the Welsh cakes. We're not really even in it's like though they're not competition, kind of, it's this. What's a good example of this? It's kind of like you've got your Dairy Milks and your Cadburys and your Cadburys and your Galaxies, and then even you've got your Lints and stuff like that. But then there's those small chocolate companies that do like organic chocolate and these beautiful flavor combinations, and it's like it's £3.50 for a bar this big, but the difference is insane. And you will know it when you taste it and you try it. We saw not necessarily a gap for that, but like a demand for that, because there was no Welsh cakes out there that existed that we wanted. That I would, before making and starting a Welsh cake business, I never purchased Welsh cakes because they were crap. Really? Yeah. I never. The only time I went and purchased Welsh cakes was for the first 6 months of starting the business. I went to every single supplier in South and West Wales of Welsh cakes and tried all of them as proper market research. And yeah, it confirmed my bias of like, these are not good enough, and they shouldn't be representing Wales. I'm always gutted that people try any of the Welsh cakes for the first time and then go, oh, yeah, I don't really like Welsh cakes. They got that like kind of weird aftertaste, or they're dry, or they're too dense, or they're this, or like, and I'm just like, oh, now you think you don't like Welsh cakes, and I've got a battle on my hands trying to convince you that Welsh cakes can be better. It's kind of like, it'd be like, yeah, it'd be like buying a packet, like, the custard tarts that Greggs do, like that thick, quite nasty, pasty, whatever that is. It's supposed to be pastry, but I don't imagine it is. And then that like really set, plain, basic custard. It's like buying them and then going to Lisbon and having a Portuguese tart come around on one of those conveyor belts and land in your bag, and it's still a bit warm and fresh, and you eat that, and the pastry flakes everywhere, and the custard is soft and burnt perfectly on top, and
pastel de nata.
Yeah, it's a proper pastel de nata, and you go, they're kind of the same product.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know any better and you paid 80p for 6 of them in Greggs, you might think you don't like them. But then you haven't been to Lisbon and had a pastel de nata from the shop that's making them, and people are out there rolling the pastry by hand, and it's kind of that. It's like, yeah. And I'm sure people in Portugal are like, oh, God, please don't think that's what a custard tart is for us. Please, God, like, please try something else, Yeah. So we struggle with 2 sets of customers in a way, right? So one customer is a customer we don't have yet because they think they don't like Welsh cakes. And then another customer, again, one that we don't have yet, is someone who thinks a Welsh cake costs 80p for 6 in Tesco, and you've got to warm them up and slather them with butter, and they'd never pay £1 for one individual Welsh cake. There's 2 customers that we don't have, that we constantly have to say, that's fine. If you're fine with the quality of that, you probably don't care about the quality of ours. But grabbing those customers and going, no. You think you don't like a Welsh cake, but you've had the Greggs equivalent of a pastel de nata, and we need to change your mind on that. And they go, but I don't like raisins. That's fine. I have 4 options here that don't have raisins in them. Oh, so the chocolate salted caramel doesn't have raisins in? No. It's a chocolate and salted caramel Welsh cake. It doesn't have raisins in there. I wouldn't sneak them in there. Like, try this, and they go, oh shit, that's amazing. Because it's a really nice quality bit of cake with 2 ingredients you like in there.
That's passion, that, Joe. That is passion right there.
Yeah, thanks. It's. But I feel like we're winning the battle. We're convincing people that Welsh cakes, if you pay good money for good Welsh cakes, you get good Welsh cakes. And we're convincing people that Welsh cakes aren't this thing from this Tanner Castle packet, and they cost absolutely nothing. Like, you can pay good money, have good quality ingredients, and have a delicious tasting cake at the end of it as well,
I hope that kind of passion is something that comes across when you're in your BNI and you do your weekly presentation, or you do a 10 minutes, that you basically just have that big rant about Welsh cakes.
Yeah, it's basically exactly what I do. Yeah,
good. I'd be disappointed if it wasn't.
No, it definitely is. You can ask anyone in my chapter. I'm in the Cardiff City chapter. Ask anyone in there. That's pretty much how the meetings go. And I did do my 10-minute presentation recently, and we did a blindfold taste test, and I bought some packet Welsh cakes basically, and brought like some of mine,
braces or something.
Yeah, I think I got braces and Tanner Castle. Yeah, and God, they're so bad. Like, yeah, and it kind of wasn't really fair. I probably should have got some from Fabulous, because Fabulous do good Welsh cakes. Like, they're okay, they're good. I know Jo from Fabulous. She's a lovely lady. But it goes up in levels, and people know that, and that's fun. It's okay for that to exist. Both things can exist.
So that's another reason why I'd love you in our group. Go on, coming in and bringing Welsh cakes in the morning. What a fantastic start to the day.
Not every morning, mind.
No. It would get expensive if you did that every morning.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we used to have a butcher in our chapter before I joined.
He didn't bring steaks in, did he?
Well, he used to make his kind of his fee, his yearly fee, back like 10 times just by taking pre-orders and stuff.
I would so be up for that. I love a steak. To have a butcher bring in a steak on a Thursday morning. Here you go. Here's your sirloin. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh, yeah. That would be, I'd be absolutely fine with that.
Oh, why aren't there more butchers in BNI groups?
Mate, I've got one, and he's right on the cusp. The thing is, he just took on a care home, and his delivery morning for them is Wednesday morning, and our chapter's Wednesday morning. And I'm just devastated, because he'd do so well. He's literally a mobile butcher, so he would just...
Perfect.
Yeah, I know.
Perfect. There's a question I was going to ask you, but based on your big rant then, I know the answer. And it was going to be, do you have any intentions or ambitions at all to go into retail? And I know the answer's no, based on what you've just said.
Well spotted, yeah.
So you're never going to be going into supermarkets. It's just not something that is ever going to mesh with what you do.
No, I don't think... One, I've heard absolute horror stories from fellow business owners and friends who have done that, thought that was the dream, thought that was the world they wanted to go into, and then they basically end up in the pocket of those massive corporations.
It's the vanity, isn't it, of seeing your product on the shelf in Asda or in Sainsbury's or in Marks and Spencer's, whatever it is. But the reality is, of course, the margins are just gone.
The margins are gone. You live in their pocket as well, so they'll shock you and awe you, and they'll go, "Yeah, we'll order 10,000 units a week," and you go, "Oh my god, amazing!" Blah blah blah, and you churn them out, and then they go, "Okay, great. If you want to carry on doing those kind of numbers, actually, this is the price we're going to pay," and because you've changed your whole business model you put all your eggs in one basket ultimately to fit them, they know they've got that hold on you then. So then your profit margins get smaller and smaller, and theirs get bigger and bigger. And I just do not think monopolies like supermarkets should exist in the world. I just don't think they should exist.
No, I agree.
It's just mental. Like, it's funny. I don't know if anyone else doesn't notice this, or maybe people do notice it, but they just don't care. But like, when supermarkets say our prices have to go up because the cost of things is getting more, but then their profits perfectly align with the percentages that they put their products up by, I'm like, is this not basic economics for everyone else? They're making the amount of money more that they put the products up by. They're not, and they make billions.
Yeah.
Billions. Why does billions exist? Like, if you can't count to it, you shouldn't be making it. Like, billions is insane, and that's profit, not turnover.
Yeah.
Like what? Why is anyone making? Someone isn't getting what they deserve if someone makes billions from it. Either staff aren't being paid enough, producers aren't being paid enough. Like, somewhere along the line, someone is losing in a really big way for someone to win that much. It's just maths.
No,
I'm all for people making loads of money and being hungry for life, and all of those great things that come with innovative kind of capitalism. But like, geez, I just feel like there's got to be a bit of a cap on that. Like, why? And just CEO pay compared to the person cleaning the toilets pay, and everyone in between. even the next highest person up, why is the CEO pay 250 grand when the most anyone else is making is 60 grand in that, like, and there's £1 million bonuses being handed out to water company owners that can't successfully do their job. Like, why are you dumping shit literally into our rivers and getting a bonus for it? This is mad. You're poisoning our water supply, which is the only job you have, keeping our water supply healthy. And you think you get a bonus for doing that terrible job? Like, we can't swim in our local rivers because you're doing your job so badly. And it's like the taxpayer should pay for you to have a bonus. Like, it's mad. It's maddening.
So I'm guessing no. Then is the answer. You're not planning to go into Asda.
Yes. No retail.
No retail. I got it. To flip it round as another angle, I don't know if you do this already. You might do this already. We had a baker visit our BNI a couple of months ago, and he's a client of ours now because we do a website for him. But he's planning to join our BNI because he doesn't just bake. He does bread, sourdough bread, but he doesn't just bake to sell it. He also does classes showing people how to bake themselves. Is that something you do or you've thought of doing in... It could be like team building events or just experience days and showing people how to make Welsh cakes.
Yeah, we actually do those. We call them the Welsh. We do already. We do Welsh cake masterclasses. So we kind of sell that as part of the corporate gift offering. So there's like 3 corporate orders that you can do through us. So we can do the packaging and put your stickers and labels and stuff on them. We can teach your staff and your clients how to make Welsh cakes. So we come to the office, we bring all the equipment, everything with us. Everything's so transportable and yeah, it's great. So we can go anywhere. We have a few venues that we work with quite closely where we do them there as well, just in case people want to have nibbles or drinks and stuff afterwards. And then we can also come and do live cooking demos. So that's where literally, say someone like Admiral wanted to treat all their staff in the office one day to 300 odd Welsh cakes. They would pay for the Welsh cakes. I would come and cook them fresh and hot in front of everyone and chat and make it a nice thing. So that's the kind of 3 ways we can sell to corporates.
Yeah, because you've got a lot of huge businesses down there, sort of Newport and Cardiff, haven't you? Because you've got Admiral there, you mentioned. Go Compare was founded in Newport, I believe. Lloyd's Bank has got a massive... to
Cardiff though, I think, but yeah.
Lloyd's Bank is in Dufferin by the Asda. So you've got huge businesses and there's massive potential for you to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Cardiff and Newport both have big, those Welsh-based offices. Yeah, it's really good. They're great places to be.
Excellent. One question I've got to ask, because I was reading a little bit about you earlier and where you started, and you were in healthcare. And your mum as well, who's also in the business with you, was a mental health nurse. And you were doing that in 2020 when healthcare was a big thing in the country for some reason. I can't quite remember why.
What happened then?
I don't know. Something happened. But you chose 2020 to be the year that you thought, you know what? I'm going to go make Welsh cakes. What possessed you in any capacity to go, right, healthcare, don't want to do that anymore, because there seems to be too much demand for that. I'm going to go into what is effectively hospitality, when hospitality in the whole of the UK is dead. What made you make that move?
Yeah.
And were you insane?
Yeah, well, someone said this to me the other day, and they were like, well, I suppose if you start then, things can only get better, right? So you can...
Valid point, yeah. You can't disagree with that.
Maybe subconsciously I was like, well, if I fail now, there's an excuse. It was COVID.
Yeah.
And if it even remotely gets a tiny bit successful, then I've done an amazing thing. And so it's like, and what happened was, in a really weird way, stripping life back down to like, you literally work and go home and that's it. It can affect people in different ways, but I kind of went, okay, right, I can't travel, I can't go anywhere, can't have fun with my friends, I can't like. I was very young and free, and did a lot of traveling, and so I worked in healthcare, but mainly because I could very easily come back, pick up shifts, go, save up money, and go again. Whereas with COVID happening and full lockdowns and all that stuff, like there was a lot of sitting around and thinking and like, what do we want to do? And yeah, there was a lot happening. But one of the things you could do is go to like the kind of outdoor markets. At the very start, they were like, outdoors, absolutely fine. You can go and do that. And yeah, I just wanted something to get stuck into and enjoy. And me and my mum had like a bit of a side hustle together previously, where we sold like a refillable deodorant, like a little tin of deodorant, and you could refill it back up. And we always used to say, if you put it on your skin, you should be able to eat it because your skin absorbs so much. And
Yeah.
so it was like all organic. It was 4 ingredients in there, and it was all edible. Basically, we would say like you could. It won't taste nice, but you could put it on your toast if you wanted. And so we were kind of selling that, and I was going around like little salesman with a little side hustle, like selling it to the zero waste shops, you know, the refill zero waste shops. And they were
Yeah.
quite big at the time. They're massive now, but people love them. And a really annoying side note to this is a deodorant that was very, very similar to mine and my mum's has won Dragon's Den quite recently. I think it's called Fussy or something. They've actually got more ingredients than ours had in it. Anyway, that's an annoying little side note, but I could have won Dragon's Den by now, basically.
Yeah.
But so I was doing that. We were selling the deodorant at like one of these outdoor markets, and we just saw food flying out, like donuts with loads of icing, sugar on them and stuff. And we were like, God, is this the standard? This the caliber that we, you know? And Instagram went crazy around those times, right? Because everyone was stuck in, and everyone was watching food accounts and foodie accounts where people ate the food that people like to follow, and it just, that social media world just went insane. People would like get 20,000 followers in the space of 2 or 3 weeks. It was like just crazy. If you had a product that looked good and looked sexy and got some people to eat it, it went mad, right? So like it wasn't actually a bad economy for that to start a food business, especially a food business that was a little bit, well, rogue, because we are Rogue Welsh Cakes. So it wasn't a bad economy to start that at all, because it gained traction really, really quickly, and people's attention wasn't drawn to so many other things that they could just like live a normal life and go on holiday and just, you know, and people had spare cash, I feel like, as well, because yeah, you weren't driving everywhere, so you weren't filling your car up every week. You weren't going on holidays, so you weren't like saving for a thing in your head. You had no idea how long all this was going to last. And the only thing people could do was go out and buy food. Like, literally the only thing you could do. You could do like half an hour of exercise, but you could shop for as long as you wanted, basically. So, and especially outdoors, people felt a lot safer and stuff at the outdoor markets. I mean, it was a boom, a really weird small bubble boom for like artisan makers and crafters, and it made a lot of people question as well, do I really want to go to supermarkets all the time, or do I want to say hello to the person who has just spent the last 3 days preparing this food, and do I want to know their name and say hello to them and not shake their hand necessarily at that time, but like, you know, like do I want to live in my community where like and be a part of that and help that grow? And what's that like economics fact where it's spending £1 in like your local community like reverbs around like 10 times before it kind of
10 times the local economy.
Yeah, and then but you go and spend it at Tesco and it's like you've put a penny back into the local economy, and basically some billionaire is laughing. So I think it made a lot of people question a lot of things about their life. I know a lot of people who started businesses. I know a lot of people whose businesses were dependent on people coming to their little tiny shop and sitting inside that failed. but there was definitely a boom of businesses that they didn't necessarily have to adapt because they started in that world. So they were already adapted to that crazy world that was COVID lockdowns. And then, and I think it just made a lot of people question how they want to spend their money, where they want to spend their money. And ultimately, I feel like it was quite an explosion of small businesses in that sense.
It makes sense, to be honest with you, because we started Engage Web, our agency, in 2009, which was a recession.
Yeah.
So starting the recession, there's people that need work, there's people that need freelance work, and we're still here 17 years later. So it does work, does make sense. I see what you're saying.
It's exactly that, and I do feel like, especially like the networking things like BNI, for example, people would probably say like, oh, January is a bad time to reach out to people, like finances and Christmas. It's like, no. That's a good time to reach out to people and say, hey, do you want to grow? Like, because they need the change. So they are struggling maybe a little bit. And then they go, it's that kind of necessity will force you to take steps sometimes. So like, don't catch people when they're flying. Catch them when they're a little bit low and go, look, you can change this. And you get the right type of people then who go, I want to change this. Whereas what you should do is when you're flying and you're absolutely smashing it, continue to plan ahead and continue to do those things that work. Don't take your foot off the gas kind of thing. But especially if things are on a little bit of a dip, there's always opportunity there,
Well, speaking of flying and smashing it and continuing to do things that work, you go to BNI, so you get obviously business through BNI, you get referrals from BNI. You have the market in Newport, you've got the stall in Newport, which you use to sell to the consumers. You've got a lot of corporate clients that you work with. You're targeting St David's Hotel. Obviously, you didn't tell me that. I guessed that one. You've got a website as well that you have, which people can order from and do subscriptions from. What types of marketing do you do for your business that you find are effective?
I think that it's the person to person, it's the BNI network connect, it's the proper connections, proper warmed up referrals that I think make the most money and are the most secured ways of concentrating your kind of energy if you want to grow a business. Definitely that person to person, word of mouth is always the best. Someone told me before that the most successful way to run a business is to get customers and keep customers. And if you continue to keep your customers and get more customers and then keep those customers, you will inevitably grow into a very successful business. So I also think it's just consistency over time. It's the same with life. It's the same with health. It's the same with any relationships. It's the same with business. It's consistency over time. Do you keep showing up? Do you keep getting in people's faces? And I don't necessarily think that means post on social media really, really regularly, but it just means what you do post you and like myself as content and other people as content, empower other businesses. I think just trying to always put out a positive recognition of other people and other businesses that do things well, and just keep showing up daily and showing up to the best of your abilities on those days. I think that's what makes business grow, and that's what is ultimately makes you financially successful in the long term. And it's not going to be 100% of the time, but we've been in business for 6 years now, so it's like you'd know after 6 years if you didn't have lots of repeat custom and you couldn't find new ways to find new customers, you were doing something quite wrong. Maybe you haven't got the product, maybe you haven't got the personality, maybe you haven't got something's missing, and you need to go back to the drawing board and figure what that is. But I just try and put my honest self out there as much as I possibly can on social media. I try my absolute best to not put highlights, like the best of. It's like, if anything, I put the worst of out there, because I'm like, look, I forgot this thing, and this didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And this event, I thought I took 700 Welsh cakes to it, and I sold 100 because there was 50 people in the room, and these things happen, and it's great. And I feel like that they get way more positive responses. One, because people like to see you fail a little bit, but two, like, just people respond to honesty. Like there's so much truth and honesty missing in that social media, in that marketing world. Even to the point now where people have learned that, and they've learned that the algorithm likes it, so they'll tell you stuff like, put a blooper at the start of your video before your video, and you go, you're just gaming the system a little bit. Like,
you're faking honesty now, faking honesty.
Yeah, faking honesty. It's got to be hands down. That's got to be that. If anything gets you sent to hell, it's got to be faking honesty, hasn't it? Like, surely that's not legal. Like, So I just try and put my honest self out there, and we do use some social media marketing people. On Deck Consultancy are great. They've just joined BNI, but I used them before BNI. They kind of reached out, and some people you just have that connection with straight away. Lucy and her dad Ian, they like instantly I knew, okay, we're going to make the kind of content that I want to make, but you're just going to do it professionally, and it's going to be nice, and it's going to be just me on camera and doing one shot and just going, that's the shot, do it, that's the shot. There's mess ups in there, there's not, there's, or I've nailed it first time. That's what goes up, So we do work with them, and I'm about to sign a little bit of a package thing with them this week, hopefully. And the in-person stuff, that's just how we push it, and just turning up, go to those events, go to those networking things, go to the exhibitions, and just to make those connections, and it just builds. It has that ripple effect. You have the ripple effect by just being out there, but then business has that natural snowballing effect. We just constantly picking up that little bit more, and then next thing you know, you go, shit, man, we've actually got like 30 corporate gift clients now. So sometimes if they all order in a month, we could be looking really nice, and some months maybe only 4 or 5 of them order, but there's 30 of them there, and whenever they need something like what we provide, they will use us.
It's interesting what you said there about if you're in business for a while now and you're not picking up new clients, there's something wrong. It's a big problem with salespeople that they're going to struggle to sell if they don't believe in the product. You have to believe in your own product or your own business or your own service if you're going to be able to sell it. Because if you don't believe it, you can't convince somebody else that it's good. Yeah. And I see that with people who come along to BNI as visitors who might think about joining. In the end, they don't. And it's not because they haven't got the budget. It's not because BNI wouldn't work for them. It's because they don't actually believe the business they've got in their own ability to sell it, that it's going to work for them. And you obviously have absolute unwavering belief in your product. That comes across in spades, which is going to make you very, very good at selling that product, and is going to make you very referable, that people are going to say, speak to Joe. He's got fantastic Welsh cakes. You've only got to look at his face to know how good his Welsh cakes are, because he's lit up by the thought of them. So that comes across and makes you very, very good at representing your brand and representing your product.
Yeah, but it's funny you say that, because I've not always been that way. I mean, I could sell dog piss to a lamppost, but it's when it's your own, I feel like it's different, and I've gotten so much better at it, and better at it, and I have had some forms of business coaching and talks with people, because I think if you don't have imposter syndrome, you're weird. And so it's definitely a hurdle. It's a barrier I had to overcome, and it took years to overcome it. And then, you enter things like, we entered the Great Taste competition 2 years ago with one of our products, the Batter Breath. and it won a great star. It won a Great Taste Award, 1 star, and things like that can help you overcome it, because you go, okay, professional food tasters think this tastes good, and it tastes like the things that I said it should taste like. That's good, and then you go, okay, all right, that is validation. And like, although you should never rely on validation for happiness or anything like that, it's like sometimes you've got to double check. If you convince yourself you're the world's fastest 100-meter sprinter, but then you race someone and they're much faster than you got to go, okay, hang on a minute, maybe I'm not the world's fastest.
You need a reality check.
You need a reality check. And for us, it was really important to enter the Great Taste Awards and go, okay, are these what we think they are and what a good handful of customers think they are? We need to double check with some chefs and some people who are actual food judges. And do we know how to describe our product as well? Because part of the process of the Great Taste Award, if you enter a product in there, you can't go, it's a Barra-Brith Welsh cake, try it, do you like it? Score it. It's like, describe the flavors they're going to experience, describe the textures, and you've got a limited amount of words, so you've got to really think about and drill down in and get to the point as quickly as you can. What are you going to experience when you taste and try this product? So it's part of, that's such a big part of it. Do I know exactly what this product is and what people need to expect from it? And then does it deliver those things? And like that was really good validation for us. It read like a 2-star review, but ended up being a 1. But we've re-entered this year, and so I'm hoping to get 2 stars this year with a slight tweak. And yeah, it's stuff like that really help me overcome that barrier of being able to sell my own product. Whereas, honestly, if you gave me a little rundown of your web design business and your USPs and stuff like that, and you asked me to go out and knock on doors, I would be superb at it. I can sell, but because there's no pressure about the product, because it's not mine, it's someone else's, and I could just be a salesman for it. I found it the hardest to become a salesman for my own product and my own company, and it's not such a barrier anymore at all. Sometimes I still have to check in with myself, and God, I used to hate taking money off people in the market. I'd rather someone else was working and selling the product, and I'd always want to give a discount, or it'd be some sweet old lady, and I'd be like, oh, just have them, and it's like I couldn't do it. I couldn't take money off people. It was crazy. And I really struggled with taking on any kind of I've always been much better at taking on criticism than I have compliments. I love criticism. I love finding out different people's opinions and what I can learn from that. I love that. It's fantastic. God, give me a compliment, and I'm just like, just write it down and put it on Google or something. I can't.
Yeah.
It takes me like 2 weeks to reply to people's Google reviews of saying how lovely we are as a company. I'm like, oh God, I need a week to read it, and then a week to process it, and then like a couple of days to reply.
That is strange. But no, I get it. I mean, when I first started with Engage Web, I was the one building the websites. I was the one doing the digital marketing. I was the one that had to fulfill everything. And when you're selling something, there's a part of you while you're selling it's thinking, I've got to do this. So if you're selling, oh no, I've got to make all these Welsh cakes. If I sell them 2,000 Welsh cakes, I've got to do them. But now I've got a team behind me. I'm not so bothered about that now. I can say, oh yeah, we can do that. Yeah, you want to be able to have custom ordering system and then custom delivery based on the weights of the product that are calculated dynamically by the website. Yeah, that's not a problem, because Gab or Nick's got to deal with that. I haven't got to. I can make it as complicated as I like, because it's not my problem anymore. It's not my problem. But yeah, you're the one still fulfilling it, so you've got to think, I've got to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love biting off more than I can chew and really
If you
testing.
pardon the pun there with Welsh cakes.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I didn't even notice that one. Yeah, I do enjoy that. I very much like I I very much say yes. Like someone says, "Can you do a thing, whatever it is?" And I go, "Yeah, of course, absolutely."
That's
Like
Richard Branson's
I've
advice.
done it before.
It's Richard Branson's advice. Say yes and then figure out how to do it later.
Oh, is it? I didn't know. I didn't know when you said that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of what's the saying? Like shoot first, ask questions later. I'm kind of like say yes first, and
Say
then
yes.
just ask questions later and figure
Yeah.
it out. Yeah, I don't think anyone's creative enough to think of something that would be impossible to get done, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of like
I know what you're
they would
saying, but
already,
them's dangerous words, Joe. Them's dangerous words.
yeah. What I meant
He's
was
putting it out there. If you can think of anything really ridiculous, Joe says it's possible. Whatever it is, it's possible.
whatever it is possible. No, I mean within the boundaries of possibility. No,
Yeah.
people would be bound by the impossible. And then, even if they took it right to the edge, it's right at the edge, right? So it's still possible, I guess.
Yeah.
We have had ridiculous requests. I mean,
Have you?
yeah. Well, but some of the most impossible requests are getting Welsh cakes to places. Like, somebody ordered 50 quid's worth of Welsh cakes through the website the other day, and trying to put the thing into Royal Mail, and I was like, this isn't coming up as an address. So I double check. It's not coming up as an address. And then I saw he'd emailed again saying, sorry, I put the address in wrong. And it was blah, 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 Toronto, Canada.
Wow.
And I was like, oh. I said, Kenneth was his name. I said, Kenneth, I'm really sorry, mate, but like, we don't send Welsh cakes to Canada. They could take a month. I have no idea what state they're going to arrive in. They have to go through customs. I'm sure you guys have laws where you can't have like food cross borders and stuff like that. You just never
Certainly
reply.
not fruits. No. So no raisins or currants. I'd have thought would be allowed. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like an insane thing. So then, and I emailed and I said, look, I'll unless you want them sent to an address in the UK or, I'll refund you. And he just never replied and just spent 50 quid on nothing on the website.
Oh,
So weird.
random Canadians.
I know. Yeah, random Canadians.
Right. Well, we are out of time now, Joe. I don't know if you noticed. We are out of time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's 3:00.
It is, yeah. So as a final note, Joe, anyone listening to this thinking, because like myself, I'm getting quite hungry listening to you. Anybody who wants to get in touch with you, whether it's for corporate orders or whether it's to come down and see you in person, what's the best way for them to reach out or visit you?
Yeah, on the website, all the contact info is on there. info@Rogue Welsh Cakes is the email address. But if you just go on roguewelshcakes.com, you'll be able to find my number's on there even. I just put my number on there and just a lot of people just order through WhatsApp these days. It saves all the back and forth in over emails and stuff like that. Yeah, Darren, I hope you managed to actually get through the questions. I
haven't got any questions, Joe. I told you I haven't got any questions. It's just a conversation.
You've got no questions.
I've no questions written. No, I have no questions. That was it.
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, I hope I didn't ramble on too much.
Absolutely not. No, it was perfect, mate. It was perfect.
Oh, okay, that's good.
No, really appreciate it. Thank you for being a guest on the podcast.
No, mate, thank you so much for the invite. I'm absolutely buzzing we got to do it, man.